In this video, I'm going to go over some key concepts, strategies, as well as some amazing team compositions to help you get the gold rank and the Grandmaster rank that you deserve by the end of season 1.5 so that you can get those awesome rewards. My name's 8-Bit the Cool Dad, and I am a Celestial ranked, mostly strategist player. Let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is go over some basic concepts that are really important in high-level ranked play that I have been observing, and these will really help you get focused and increase your win rate greatly. I did create a previous video on 18 pro tips that I learned on how to climb to Grandmaster, so if you want to learn some of the basics, you can click the link here on the video. Otherwise, I'm going to go over a few things here in this video a little more in depth. First and foremost, what I'm going to be talking about mostly in this video, with an exception of the bonus last composition that I talk about, is the concept of 2x2x2. And what that means is that you've got a team with 2 vanguards, otherwise known as tanks, 2 duelists, otherwise known as DPS, and 2 strategists, otherwise known as healers or support. According to the data and statistics on the Marvel Rivals ranking website, this is the top winning percentage team composition, 2x2x2. So I don't care what anyone says, whatever else you want to run, just doesn't work statistically, and people are not winning as much with those other types of compositions. So the first thing you can do to really increase your chances of winning in this game is to run a team composition of 2 vanguards, 2 duelists, and 2 strategists. And if your team isn't setting up that way in ranked, then you need to be the player to flex and take one for the team, because that is the percentage play right there. So you need to be good at all kinds of different characters, which brings me up to my next point. If your intention of playing this game is to play the superhero that you like the most, then you will never get into a high rank lobby ever. I see people talk about this on the internet, that their main characters are their mains that they run, or this character and that character. I actually think that is a terrible way to approach this game. You don't have a main. What you have is you have a character that you're good at, and that's fantastic. But you need to learn other characters. You need to have multiple mains. The more mains you have in this game, the more you can flex. And what I mean by flexing is that you're able to play any character that you need at any given moment based on the needs of the match or the team composition that's going to be best for your team. That's flexing. So another way to increase your chances of winning this game is be really good at a couple strategists, be good at a couple duelists, be good at a couple tanks, and if you want extra credit, be good at different types of tanks, be good at different types of duelists, and be good at different types of strategists. Now for the next topic, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, and that is, my advice is for you to never solo queue in this game. And I know there's 8 million videos on YouTube on how to hit Grandmaster or Celestial or Eternal by solo queuing, but the reality is that when I read on the internet and discussion groups, is that most people are absolutely miserable by themselves. They get matched up with teammates that don't use their mics, or that are mean and toxic and just don't switch players, they don't flex, they don't try any new strategies, and it's a terrible experience. My advice to you is to find at least one other person to do ranked games with, so that way at least there's one other person that you know they're good at the game, and that will increase your chances of having a good match. 2 people are even better, and 3 people is great. Then you'll have a 4 stack. You can't have a 5 stack, it won't let you match make. And then if you really want to brave a 6 stack, you can go for it. You either get really sweaty 6 stacks, or you get ones that you roll over. I made another video that I'll post a link here on this video that you can see on the screen here, of when we were a 6 stack and played against another 6 stack team twice in a row in ranked. We got defeated pretty badly in the first match against them, but then in the second match against them, we changed our composition, we banned their key players, and we absolutely destroyed them, which gives me confidence that these tactics and things that I'm talking to you about regarding team composition and skills are more important than thinking that the game is rigged and that there's a randomization of the matchmaking to make you happy that puts you with good players or bad players depending on the mood of the algorithm of the game. The next tip for you is to reset and survive. So in other words, if you're in a battle and you can tell it's a losing battle and maybe you're the last person left, if you can escape and reunite with your team, reset, regroup, and then go back into the battle as a full team again. I see so many people in this game just charge in the battle and die over and over again, and then they get staggered, which means you've got healers coming out after everyone else dies and then dying themselves, and then everyone else comes out and dies because they don't have the healers because they're respawning, and this happens over and over again, and I do see it in upper ranks as well. Don't be a hero. Don't charge in the battle and just play until you die if you're not getting what you need. If you're diving a Spider-Man or Venom and you're not getting the kill and the elimination there, then it's okay to jump back and heal and try again. You don't have to die trying every single thing you do in this game. Survival is the most important thing. The last tip I'm going to give you before I get into awesome team comps is your ability to recognize what team compositions your enemy teams are using and what overall strategies they're using. There are 3 strategies to this game that I see teams do. One is diving, which is pretty self-explanatory. You've got characters diving behind your back lines and attacking your strategists or your healers. The second strategy is poking, where you've got characters that are doing more ranged attacks, and you've got got more of a frontal assault. And the third is brawling, which you're going to see a lot in domination, where you've got characters that control a certain area with a lot of high-powered close-range characters. If you're able to see these things from a mile away and know how to counter these things, then you're going to win a lot easier. And you definitely want to have teammates, like I said earlier, that are willing to flex and switch characters. Many competitive teams, especially ones with lots of randoms in it, tend to have a mixture of all these types of characters. And when you can see which characters are the poking characters, which are the diving characters, etc., then you can at least configure your team to combat certain strategies that the other team is displaying, especially if they have one really good dive character like Spider-Man, etc. Okay, let's get into the ideal team compositions for these strategies. First is a dive composition that I recommend. You want to use Venom and the Thing for your vanguards. You want to use Spider-Man or Iron Fist for one duelist, and then for the other duelist, you want to use Punisher, Winter Soldier, or Namor. And then for your strategists, your healers, you want to use Luna, Snow, and Rocket. The reason why this composition is great is because you have some amazing team ups. You got the symbiote bond for Venom and Spider-Man, which Touch of Clintar is the effect that Venom gets, which gives him 150 health extra, and then you get Suit Expulsion for Spider-Man, which gives him 1 second of invincibility. There's also some team ups here with Luna, depending on who you choose. She gets Chilling Charisma, which is 15% healing boost for Luna, and she can also give a Frozen Spawn for Namor. That's an extra ice squid. Or she can get Frozen Chi with a team up with Iron Fist, which gives her a really cool ability that heals, deals some damage, and a kickback with surrounding enemies in a 10-meter radius, and it makes them slow for 2 seconds. Finally, Rocket has Ammo Invention, which creates infinite punishment for the Punisher and infinite grit for Winter Soldier as their team up. And that allows them to have infinite ammo and a ton of DPS and bullets being hailed onto the enemy team. This is a pretty versatile composition because you've got Venom, Iron Fist, or Spider-Man in the back line causing problems. Iron Fist can take out the flyers if there's any. You've got the Thing causing trouble midfield in the middle and then pushing back with Venom. When Venom returns to get healed by your strategist, the Thing will continue to cause pressure on the front line, backed up by Punisher or Bucky with their infinite ammo team up with Rocket. And then if you have divers coming in and giving your strategist problems, you can have Bucky or Punisher switch to Namor and protect the healers, the strategists. And then of course Namor has a spear that can be thrown all the way across the map with no fall off damage. Keep in mind that these compositions that I'm talking about in this video mostly consist of characters that I do not see banned as much. And so if you're diamond or above, you might see Namor and some of these characters banned a little more often, but if you're under diamond and you just want to get to gold, you're good to go. The next dive team composition I recommend is Thor and Captain America for the vanguards, Human Torch and Star-Lord for the duelists, Adam Warlock and Mantis for the strategists. The team ups are really important in this one. You've got Guardian Revival for Star-Lord, Mantis, who can revive like Adam Warlock. You've got Voltaic Union, which is Thunderous Deity for Thor, in which he gets 100 max health bonus, and you get Charging Aegis for Captain America, which gives him a speed boost as well as an electrified shield that he can throw. This is an amazing team combo that I recommend because Thor and Captain America will terrorize the back line of the enemy team, while the Human Torch and Star-Lord will provide aerial damage, which will further confuse and overwhelm the enemy team. Both Adam Warlock and Mantis can provide excellent damage. They can also heal over a distance. So this team is a little more susceptible to dive players, but a good Mantis can put them to sleep, and Adam can possibly one-hit them with his charge shot. If your team wants to do a high DPS poking configuration, this is the comp that they're going to want to use. They're going to want to use Magneto and Doctor Strange for their vanguards. They're going to want to use Scarlet Witch, Squirrel Girl, or Hawkeye for the duelists, and they're going to want to use Cloak and Dagger and Luna Snow for the strategist. Now, a lot of people hate Scarlet Witch for a reason. I don't understand the hate. I think she's a pretty amazing character when played right, and most importantly, there's a team up here with this combo, and it's probably one of the best in the game. It's called Metallic Chaos, and it's a chaotic bond, which is 10% extra damage to Scarlet Witch, and then Metallic Fusion, which is 10 seconds of sword projectile damage, which is 60 per hit and 35 spell area effect for Magneto. That's an incredible ability for him to use in addition to his normal attack. So all you haters of Scarlet Witch, shut up. I don't care what you think of Scarlet Witch. I don't care that you think it's for people who can't aim or that she's auto aim bot or anything like that. We don't care. What you know what we care about? We care about winning. That's what we care about. So I will play what it takes to win. I will recommend what it takes for people to win. Next up is my recommendation for another poke team that I call Air Poke. It's a highly specialized team with some flyers. For your vanguards, you're going to want to use Magneto, Doctor Strange, Strange, or Hulk. For your duelist, you're going to want to use Human Torch, Storm, or Iron Man. And then for your strategist, you want to use Invisible Woman, Mantis, or Cloak and Dagger. The team ups are good with this one. You've got Storming Ignition, which are fire tornadoes with Storm and the Human Torch, and then Storm siblings with the Invisible Woman and the Human Torch, in which the Human Torch gets extra hit points and healing per second when he activates that ability. If you're gonna go the Hulk route with Iron Man, you get Gamma Burst, which makes Iron Man's attacks a little bit stronger. They nerfed it a bit. It's still a useful team up. Don't forget, because of Hulk's gamma radiation, that Doctor Strange also gets a buff on his Maelstrom of Madness ability. This team up can really work well for you because you've got Magneto, Doctor Strange, or Hulk raging the battle on the ground, and then you've got flyers continuously flanking and diving the enemy from behind and in the air, pretty much from any position on the map that they want. Invisible Woman can heal in the air by pulsing her shield ability, and both Mantis and Cloak and Dagger have remote auto-lock healing capabilities. Now, if you find yourself facing a team with this type of composition, there's actually a counter to it, which I call the anti-air poke composition. For that, you're going to have Magneto and Thor as your vanguards. You're going to have Hela, Psylocke, or Punisher as your duelists, and then you're going to have Loki, Luna Snow, or Cloak and Dagger as your strategist. So the team up for this one that's important is Ragnarok Rebirth, which gives 15% damage boost added to the seasonal 20% that Hela's already getting, and both Thor and Loki can self-revive if Hela lands a final hit on the enemy. This is really useful. Magneto can mitigate a lot of damage, and Thor has the versatility to play near Magneto or dive the enemy team. Hela, Psylocke, and Punisher all have what's called hit scan, which makes them really effective at shooting down flyers or enemies from a high range. Psylocke can also take angles on the flyers as well as the enemy team. Loki is good at handling any divers from the enemy team, and both Luna Snow and Cloak and Dagger are great picks for Loki to copy their ults. Oh, and Luna Snow has hit scan as well, so she's great at shooting flyers from a distance. Next up is a brawler composition, which I recommend mostly for domination maps, but you can use this with a good team on pretty much any type of map style or game type. You're going to start with Groot and Penny Parker for your vanguards. You're going to want to use Moon Knight and Magic for your duelists, and then you're going to want to use Invisible Woman and Cloak and Dagger for your strategist. The team up for this is Lunar Force. From Shadow to Light is the passive that Cloak and Dagger has, which gives her a 15% healing boost, and Full Moon is the ability that Moon Knight gets, which he's able to become invisible and get across the map. Groot and Penny are absolutely amazing characters for controlling the battlefield, and they're great counters to tanks like the Thing and the Hulk and Thor. Penny can also provide cover for the healers against Magic or Thing or any other characters that wish to dive them. Magic can brawl in the middle at close range, or she can go for the strategist and dive the team over and over again. And Moon Knight can take advantage of enemies being clumped together for both Ankh attacks and his ultimate. His Full Moon ability he gets from his team up with Cloak and Dagger make it easy for him to sneak around and get the perfect angles for these types of attacks. Again, this is a really great combo if you're going to play the domination mode. Here's another great idea for a brawler team composition. You're going to want to use the Thing and the Hulk for your vanguards. You're going to want to use Wolverine, or if he's banned, you want to use Moon Knight, and then the Human Torch for your duelist, and then for your strategist, you want to use Invisible Woman and Loki. And the team ups for this are Fastball Special, where the Hulk or the Thing can launch and throw Wolverine across the map. Then you also have Storm siblings with Invisible Woman and the Human Torch, which again, he gets extra hit points and healing per second when he activates that ability. And then you get Cooperative Comrades with extra hit points and healing per second with the Thing when he's teamed up with the Invisible Woman. Here's a great trick to get Wolverine through the ban process in Diamond or above. What you want to do is ban Namor with your team first, and that will set the other team into a panic, and they'll probably ban Magic and Spider-Man first, and they won't ban Wolverine. That way it'll free up your Wolverine player to be able to use that character. This is a great overwhelming team composition that will melt enemy tanks, with the Thing and the Hulk and Wolverine going close range to the destruction of those tanks, and then you got the Human Torch that can work on flanking off angles for both DPS and the enemy healers. Loki can use his Regeneration Domain ability to practically provide invincibility for the brawlers at times, as well as do a lot of damage and healing if he has two other doppelgangers in use. Besides being a melee healer and an offensive character, Invisible Woman has a great ult which you can use to trap other tanks when you have your brawlers in one select area. So if you're going to run 3 strategists, this is how I recommend you do it. That about wraps it up for this video. What do you think of this? Do you agree with this? Do you think these comps are awful? Are there other characters you'd rather play? Let me know your opinions in the comment, because I know you're all opinionated and love to just argue and debate. And you know what? I welcome it. Love you all. Please subscribe to the channel and catch me when I stream live on nights and weekends.